Hey, welcome back. My name is Scott, and this is another My Bourbon Journey review. So if you're new to this channel and you're looking for different whiskey reviews, such as bourbons and ryes, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, don't forget, hit the bell notification. That will alert you to when I'm doing new reviews or going to be doing a live stream. So today I thought I would go ahead and do a review of Jefferson's Reserve. This is their small batch. This is actually a total wine store pick, but I don't think it's going to change much of the flavor profile of the standard reserve picks as well. So typically what I'd like to try to do is we'll get into the color, we'll go through the nose, the taste, and then the finish, and just some kind of general information regarding this. So like normal, I usually take some notes prior to doing the review. So we'll kind of go over some of that stuff right now. So again, this is the Jefferson's Reserve. This is their small batch. There's a lengthy amount of different bourbons that they have. You know, whether they're the chef's collaboration, the voyage, there's all that kind of stuff. This is the one step up from just their regular standard bourbon. This is their Jefferson's Reserve. So a little bit of information on this. This is produced by the KAD, which is the Kentucky Artisan Distillery. This was approximately $45 or $50. The proof on this is 90.2 or 45.1% ABV. I'm going to be doing the review of this neat. I'm not going to add any water to this. It is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. So we know right there that it's a minimum of 2 years. So why don't we go ahead and we'll get into the review. Again, what I'd like to typically do is we'll go through the appearance, the nose, the taste, and then the finish. So as you can see, this is kind of a nice, kind of a honey type of tone to that. So light amber. So let's go ahead and we'll get into the nose. And again, I did take some notes the other night, like I mentioned before. So right up front, you're still getting like kind of a hit with a nice amount of oak. Some honey is there. It's a little bit on the corny side. So I mean, age-wise, I don't know exactly what the age on this was, but typically when I get that kind of stronger or heavier corn or grain present, it usually indicates that it's still kind of young. I don't know exactly the age on this. It is a non-age stated bourbon. I don't know if I mentioned that before or not, but a little bit of kind of some brown sugar. No real like heat. You're not picking up really any alcohol burning of the nose. Some spice, so a little bit of spices is there. You're kind of picking up like kind of a baking spice almost. But the one thing I'm getting is, to me, a little bit of youth. And again, I'd be interested to know what the age of this is. But to me, it's smelling a little bit on the young side. Let's go ahead and we'll get into the taste. Cheers. So typically what I like to do is first get the palate coated a little bit. You don't want to just usually make a judgment based on the first sip that you take. You want to get the palate coated, get the mouth kind of prepared, so to speak. Take another sip and we'll kind of go from there. So right up front, like I was getting the other night, you get hit with a little bit of kind of a honey. That oak is present for sure. Definitely some nice rye spice there. The mash bill I wasn't able to find on this. I don't know exactly what the mash bill was. It's a bit on the dry side. There's a little bit of kind of a nuttiness, and maybe that's kind of coming from the dryness as well. Sometimes when things are dry, I pick up a little bit of a nutty undertone to things. Almost no heat, a little bit right up front. You get that cinnamon that kind of follows a little bit more later on. Initially, you don't get much. The burn kind of comes a little bit after you've swallowed a little bit. That corn is still, or grain, that corny graininess is kind of still there, even on the palate. So I'm a little confused in terms of what the age is, and I'll have to do some more looking. If somebody does know, you know, leave a comment below and let me know if you know exactly what the or approximately what the age is on the Jefferson's Reserve. But again, you get that, still there's that nice spice, there's that light cinnamon, you know, fairly pleasant. Not something I tend to lean towards in terms of the bourbons that I prefer. Again, I try to lean a little bit more towards kind of a sweeter bourbon. This is more on the side of, so whoever chose this from Total Wine, my guess is they were looking for something that fit the kind of the rye spice, the oakiness. There's a little bit of dryness there to it. So they were clearly picking out those notes for this bottling. That's my impression anyway. So. A little bit of, yeah, that nice kind of a honey, a little bit sweet. That goes away fairly quickly. Then it starts to get back into the rye spice, the cinnamon, light cinnamon. Again, little to no heat. So this would be something that would be very, for somebody maybe just first getting into bourbon, who was looking for something that was maybe a little bit spicy with minimal heat. This would be a nice bourbon. To me, a little bit underwhelming. It was more, I was expecting a little bit more, you know, from this. So, you know, for me, in terms of rating wise, I'd probably give this a 2.5 to 3 barrels out of 5. Maybe lean a little bit more towards the 2.5, kind of the middle point. For $45 or $50, which is what I believe I paid for it, I think there's better bourbons that are out there that may be even less expensive to this. One thing that comes to mind, it's a little bit higher proof, is the Four Roses single barrel. It's a little bit kind of sweet and spicy, but really full of flavor. To me, this is good, but it was, you know, kind of a little underwhelming for me. So I'll be interested if anybody has had this. You know, leave me a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. So, and again, this is my opinion. Everybody, you know, has their own opinion and likes what they like, and that's perfectly fine. I'm just kind of giving a general idea of my flavor or the flavor profile of this, and, you know, take that for what it's worth. So, anyway, again, this is the Jefferson Reserve. This is the, I believe, what do they call this? The very old Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, very small batch. Again, 45.1% alcohol, or 90.2, so relatively low on the ABV scale. So again, $45 to $50 retail in my area. This is fairly or readily available, you know, by me. So. Anyway, go ahead again, you know, leave a comment, thumbs up. I love when I'm interacting with everybody. So if you leave comments, I'll do my best to kind of get back to you on that. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification. I want everybody to know when I'm uploading videos and, or when I'm doing a live stream. So with that being said, we'll see you next time. Cheers, and thanks for watching.